Everything you were taught about the moon is wrong. For as long as humans have looked up at the night sky, we assumed the moon was a dead gray rock, a dusty, colorless wasteland floating in the void. Every photograph from every mission seemed to confirm it. Gray craters, gray mountains, gray dust, just gray. Then, on April 6, 2026, 4 astronauts aboard NASA's Artemis 2 spacecraft flew closer to the moon than any human being in over 50 years. They looked out their windows, not through cameras, not through satellites, but with their own eyes. And what they saw changed everything. The moon has color. Not just faint hints of shade, actual color. Patches of green, streaks of brown, pockets of deep orange, regions of blue. And craters that looked, according to astronaut Victor Glover, as if they were dusted with snow. Joel Kearns, NASA's Deputy Associate Administrator for Exploration, confirmed what the crew reported. He said they were seeing a lot of color on the moon. He added that these colors could be an indication of minerals or changes in the surface structure, things that satellites and cameras have never been able to fully capture. The moon is not a gray rock. It is a geological gold mine, hidden in plain sight for billions of years. And we just got our first real look. This is the story of what Artemis 2 found, and why it changes our understanding of the moon forever. On April 4, 2026, NASA launched the Artemis 2 mission from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. It was the first crewed lunar mission since Apollo 17 in December 1972, a gap of over 53 years. The crew consisted of 4 astronauts: Commander Reed Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover, mission specialist Christina Cook, and Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen. They became the first humans to travel beyond low Earth orbit in more than half a century. The mission was not a landing. It was a flyby. The Orion spacecraft swung around the moon, passing within approximately 4,000 miles of the surface. To put that in perspective, the crew saw the moon as if it were a basketball held at arm's length, close enough to see details that no satellite has ever captured, close enough for the human eye to detect what cameras cannot. And that is exactly what happened. During a nearly 7-hour observation period, the 4 astronauts took turns looking out the Orion spacecraft windows, photographing the lunar surface, and recording voice notes about what they were seeing. They captured tens of thousands of images, and what those images revealed shocked the scientific community. The far side of the moon, the hemisphere that always faces away from Earth, was not the featureless gray plain that textbooks describe. It was rich with contrast, texture, and color. The crew described seeing patches of green and brown scattered across the surface. They saw craters with distinctly different coloring than the surrounding terrain. They saw ridges and mountain ranges with subtle but unmistakable hues. Astronaut Victor Glover described certain craters and features that appeared almost as if they were dusted with snow, bright white patches standing out against the otherwise darker landscape. Whether these indicate the presence of lunar ice, water frozen in permanently shadowed craters, or something else entirely, scientists are still analyzing. But the most striking observation was the color. Dr. Gordon Osinski, a planetary geologist working on the mission, confirmed that the human eye is more sensitive to color than the cameras aboard the spacecraft. The astronauts were literally seeing things that the technology could not fully capture. He said, "We do know there is color on the lunar surface. So what is causing these colors? And why haven't we seen them before?" The answer lies in the moon's geology and in the limitations of the technology we've been using to study it. The moon's surface is covered in a layer of fine, powdery material called regolith, essentially crushed rock created by billions of years of meteorite impacts. From Earth and from most satellite images, this regolith appears uniformly gray, but it is not. Cosmic photographer Andrew McCarthy, who worked with Commander Wiseman before the launch to teach him photography techniques specifically designed for the mission, later processed the Artemis II images using a technique called color saturation. By amplifying the color information already present in the photographs, McCarthy revealed a moon that looks nothing like the gray rock we're used to seeing. The red and orange regions that emerged are most likely iron oxide, rust essentially. The same mineral that gives Mars its distinctive red color exists on the moon, concentrated in certain areas. The blue regions correspond to titanium-rich basalt, volcanic rock that formed billions of years ago when the moon was volcanically active. The green patches could indicate the presence of olivine, a mineral associated with the moon's ancient mantle, material that was brought to the surface by massive impacts that punched through the crust. McCarthy explained his approach, saying he was trying to bring those colors out in order to excite people and help them see our moon as more than just a dusty gray rock, as the geological gold mine that it is. And he's right. Those colors are not just beautiful, they are a map of the moon's history, written in minerals. Iron oxide tells us where ancient lava flows cooled. Titanium-rich basalt tells us about volcanic eruptions that happened over 3 billion years ago. Olivine tells us about catastrophic impacts that excavated material from deep below the surface. The moon has been keeping a geological diary for 4.5 billion years, and we are only now learning how to read it. But the Artemis II mission revealed something even more unexpected than color. During the lunar flyby, the crew witnessed a rare event, a solar eclipse as seen from the moon's perspective. From their position behind the moon, they watched as the Earth passed between the sun and the moon, casting a shadow. And during that eclipse, the crew observed something extraordinary. Bright flashes of light on the lunar surface, multiple flashes, appearing suddenly and briefly across the dark landscape. NASA confirmed that these were impact flashes, meteoroids striking the lunar surface in real time. The crew of Artemis II became the first humans to witness meteorite impacts on the moon with their own eyes. These impacts happen constantly. The moon has no atmosphere to protect it, so even tiny objects hit the surface at speeds of up to 72 kilometers per second, creating flashes visible from space. The fact that the crew saw these impacts during an eclipse is significant. Normally, the brightness of the sunlit lunar surface makes these flashes invisible. But during the eclipse, the darkened surface allowed the impacts to stand out, brief bursts of light against the shadow. Why does all of this matter? Because the moon is not just a destination for exploration, it is a resource. NASA's long-term plan, the Artemis program, is to establish a permanent human presence on the moon, a lunar base, a stepping stone to Mars. But to build a base, you need resources. Water for drinking and for making rocket fuel, metals for construction, minerals for manufacturing. The colors that Artemis II revealed are not just scientifically interesting, they are economically critical. If those orange patches are indeed iron oxide, they could be mined. If the blue regions contain titanium, they are invaluable. If the white patches in shadowed craters contain water ice, they could sustain a permanent colony. The moon that we dismissed as a dead gray rock may turn out to be one of the most valuable pieces of real estate in the solar system, and we have been looking at it every night for thousands of years without realizing what was right in front of us. The Artemis II crew returned to Earth on April 10, 2026, splashing down safely in the Pacific Ocean. They brought back tens of thousands of images, hours of voice recordings, and detailed observation notes that will take scientists weeks, possibly months, to fully analyze. But the most important thing they brought back was a new way of seeing something ancient. The moon is not what we thought it was. It is richer, more complex, and more colorful than anyone imagined. And as cosmic photographer Andrew McCarthy put it, it is not a dusty gray rock. It is a geological gold mine, hiding in plain sight, right above our heads, every single night. This has been the Odd Vault. If this unlocked something in your mind, subscribe, because we open a new vault every week. What they didn't tell you, we will.